Hi everyone, apa kabar? My name is Rifki Zamzam, back with you again. Today we are going to speak about menyemangati, that is to encourage you and then to motivate you, that is motivasi. The video is actually meant for everyone who wants to pursue a career. It's more targeted to help graduates and school leavers to pursue their dreams. That's number one. Experience and expertise is what the first point is about. We got 4 points for today. When we talk about experience and expertise, it's important for you to understand what you want, what you have, and what you want. So to gain experience, you need to speak about your background. You need to speak about your what you want, what you have. That's key. When you need to speak about these things, you need to tell these things to you. Sometimes we tend to forget what our main strengths are, what we are good at, what we can do, what we are comfortable with. So deep dive into comfort. You tend to look for jobs in your home country because this is where you're born, this is what you're comfortable with. It's great to be in a place where you're comfortable with because you're close to family, you're close to what you're used to, you're close to how you were raised, you know the area very well. Just remember, comfort equals complacency. It makes you competitive, but not at an international level. One of the things I've noticed about all the people I've met in Indonesia across all ages is that there is a lot of talent which the world does not know yet. That is a very difficult thing to put it into context, because as far as you're concerned, when you're in Indonesia, people see your talent, but then when you go outside of Indonesia, this talent can be something which most of the companies are looking for. So two things take place. One is for you to pursue, one is for you to gather that courage, be a little bit more brave and apply for things that are outside of your country. Get jobs outside of Indonesia. You can travel to the Middle East, you can travel to Singapore, you can travel to Hong Kong, you can travel to Japan, Korea, wherever you want to. I can share with you my experience from the Middle East. So, as you know, most of the Indonesians are in Saudi Arabia doing various different jobs. I have worked in Dubai since 2008. Across Abu Dabi and Dubai, basically Abu Dhabi, Sharjah and Dubai. And in 2012, I moved to Doha-Qatar. Just to explain about the region. So the region is called GCC, which means Gulf Cooperation Council. It has the following countries in it: Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, which the capital is Doha, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. So just to put it into the context, I've worked in UAE, which is United Arab Emirates, and also in Qatar, where the capital is Doha. You might have heard, Doha, Qatar just had the FIFA World Cup in 2022, where Indonesia took part, and there were a lot of Indonesian activities backed by the embassy in Doha, and it's quite an eventful, a very colorful event. So going back into that, so it's a very lucrative market. It has a lot of demand for skilled work, and it has a lot of demand for the labor categories as well. In my experience, there were a lot of Indonesians at multiple levels. Most of them were in the oil and gas as engineers and as technicians, and then there were Indonesians in the hospitality sector, all the way from the 5-star and the 7-star hotels all the way to the 4-star hotels. I've met many talented Indonesians. The reason why you need to know this is because I want you to forget the fear. I want you to forget that you may or may not have certain skills. You may or may not have the ability to speak in English as smoothly as an English person. These are immaterial, because in GCC, the Gulf Cooperation Council, these countries do not speak English as their first language. Their first language is Arabic. You can learn Arabic. For an example, I'm still learning Bahasa and I'm still perfecting my Arabic as we go along. You need to know that just because you don't know something doesn't mean that that's the end of the world. It's important for you to understand that the less you know, the more opportunity, the more reason for you to learn new things. That is very, very important. So when you're looking for opportunities, refer to my first video. You will figure out as to what you need to prioritize, and then understand why you need to pursue job opportunities in the Middle East, why you need to pursue job opportunities in your home country or outside your home country. Look for something outside, because the exposure you will get, you will be working with a lot of cultures across the world. GCC, or the Middle East, has approximately 150 countries of 150 nationalities where people come in and you work with them. That doesn't mean that it's a scary opportunity. It's an opportunity where you need to take on, where you need to understand that these are the skills, these are the things that you can learn. The plus points are you will meet people from different parts of the world, you will learn new things, you will learn on a global scale. At least 15-20 years in the Middle East, or you can even spend 2 years in the Middle East or outside of Indonesia. And when you come back with a global knowledge, and this is what I have. And I want to make sure that I guide you to take those opportunities, to apply for jobs outside of Indonesia, gain that global knowledge, and then come back home and rebuild something for yourself. Knowledge is power. The more global you are, the more expert you become. The more knowledge you have, the more knowledge that you can practice when you come back home. So this global knowledge, you need to get it from outside of your home country. That's very, very important, because you see, end of the day, we all come back home, and Indonesia is home. So you need to remember that when you go pursue your career in the desired country that you want. My suggestion is apply for all the vacancies. Trust the LinkedIn websites. You can go for Indeed, you can go for bed.com or Gulf Talent. You can search for jobs on those websites, or you can search for jobs on your Instagram. You will find certain pages, but just be careful because some of those websites are not real. It's important for you to understand that once you get a job outside of Indonesia, you have to do your homework, like I've explained in the previous video, what you need. But what you will not get when you leave Indonesia is that you will not get the same home culture setup. So you need to forego that. You can't hold on to that saying that this is home. I would rather stay in a place that is familiar to me. That means that you're not getting new knowledge. The same knowledge is just going to keep building, and after some time it becomes obsolete. Keep pursuing knowledge. Opportunities in the Middle East, opportunities outside of Indonesia, brings you a lot of things. It brings you international exposure, like what I've explained, I think, earlier. It will give you things that you desire. Your language will become better, your skill level will become better, what you can do becomes better. You will have the opportunity to take part in global events. I'm proud to say that I was the manager training for FIFA World Cup tournament bus services, where I had a team of 121 people. We trained around 7,500 transport professionals and quite a big number of ground staff as well for FIFA World Cup, and there were Indonesians in that. So I witnessed a great amount of talent, a great amount of bravery amongst the Indonesians who left home country and worked with us in the FIFA World Cup. You need to understand that. Do not think that you are too small to face the world. You don't know your limits until you push yourself. So that's important. So when I say plate your strengths, write this down. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Write this 4 down and write this and write your strengths against that. What you're good at. Let's say, for example, your culture. So when I look at the Indonesian culture, it's more respective. There is more emotion in it, and there is more finesse in it. And when I meet Indonesians who are in the hospitality sector, you can feel that there is quality in, that quality that comes from within. It's not just procedural quality. It's quality that comes from upbringing. It's quality that comes from the background. That doesn't mean that that apply only for jobs in the hospitality or in the medical or in the nursing industries. I'm not saying that, but it's just that these are one of the examples where you can play to your strengths. And then the knowledge level you have. If you look at your country, you have a lot of things like you have Gojek, you have Shopee, you have so many other e-commerce things that you can buy online, which is more aggressive here. It is more tech savvy here. Almost everyone has technology. Almost everyone knows how to do online shopping, order things, how to manage things. See, this means that you already have the technical skills. You know how to operate a smartphone, you know how to operate a computer. These are important things, and there are a lot of Indonesians who are providing learning opportunities on YouTube, which you can learn from. Look at those. These learnings are for free. And if you want to get a certificate, let's say for a school leaver, you can always go to LinkedIn Learning, or you can Google free programs, and you can get this level of knowledge. So that is your strengths. And then you come to the areas where I said weakness. Let's reword this. So weakness means areas of improvement, which means things that you don't have or things that you need to improve on. So this can be your English, if you feel that your English is not good enough. And that's something I am kind of debating with myself, because most of the Indonesians I know, it's not that they can't speak English. It's just that they keep saying, mohon maaf, saya bahasa Inggris tidak, something to the effect where they say my English is not very good. I refuse to believe that, because when I encourage them to speak, don't worry about the mistake, just speak, they end up speaking quite well. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you need to understand you can communicate, and language is not that difficult. Look at your own, look at the words that you use in Bahasa. It's the English alphabet, and most of the words are common, like motivasi is motivation. There are a lot of similar words. So do not be afraid saying that, I'm Indonesian, I was educated in Bahasa Indonesia or Javanese, this is where I went to school, my English is not very good. Stop that thinking. Your alphabet, it's the English alphabet, is almost basically it's the alphabet that is used to communicate in Bahasa. So you got something over there. Count your blessings, count your strengths, list it over there. So areas of improvement, you can always overcome this. It's not a weakness. You have local knowledge. So when you move to outside of Indonesia, you need global knowledge. So that's something you can learn on the job. As long as you don't give up, and as long as you don't doubt yourself, you can always pursue this global knowledge. You can always build the confidence. It's like being hungry. So if you're hungry, do you sit in a corner and weep? No. You keep trying to figure out what to eat, how to eat. Knowledge is the same thing. Lack of knowledge means you're hungry. Go get it. That's important. And then threats. And threats means it's not that somebody is after you, but threats are things that you're unable to overcome in the in the world. There is something always stopping you from getting it. So how to overcome these threats? Like, for example, for a person, a threat could be where you are unable to leave the country. There can be restrictions. There can be job opportunities which you're not supposed to apply for, but then apply for it. That is experience. The application process of it is experience. Each country, each company has a different set of experience. That is an experience. That is knowledge itself. The other things are the jobs that you can get, the jobs that you can apply for, the competition. Sometimes the countries in the GCC, that is Gulf Cooperation Council, the countries that I've mentioned before, they have visa restrictions. So that means that companies can get the employment visa quota for Indonesia, for different countries. When they have that quota, they can basically hire an Indonesian through the embassy by documenting the process. So these are threats which you shouldn't be too concerned about. But sometimes when you see something that is preventing you from getting that employment opportunity, it's important to keep pursuing it, because it's not as bad as it may look. So these things can be capitalized into or converted into opportunities. See something on LinkedIn, you see a job opportunity, just apply for it. Just do your research, see how CVs can be done. I would encourage you to write to me on the email address below, or you can connect with me on Skype or on Google Meet or on LinkedIn. You can send me a message on LinkedIn. I think that's better. You get to read my profile, and then you get to understand where I'm coming from and why I'm explaining all of this to you. And I'll be happy to connect with you and help you through your CV. I hope today you learned something. I hope today really changed you, encouraged you. It actually motivated you to pursue opportunities outside. So the key thing to remember is, do not doubt yourself. That's very, very important. If you start doubting, if you don't have confidence, you can't get very far. Pick yourself up, go outside of Indonesia so that you develop yourself, and when you come back, you can actually bring in global knowledge back to your country. That's your priority. Good luck. Thank you very much, and I will see you again next time. Terima kasih. Thank you very much. Shukran jazilan. Domo arigato.